Well, you know, I have decided that there's this big conspiracy going on, and all the pattern designers get together at least for an annual meeting and make sure that nobody uses the same supplies in their patterns, meaning everyone's going to use a different size eye or a different style of eye. Some are going to use safety noses, some are not. Some are going to use felt, some are going to use beads, some are going to use embroidery. Everybody's going to do something different to make sure that we don't have what we need, or at least me, don't have what I need to complete a pattern. It's just been crazy. So I've done a lot of waiting around this week, and I'm sitting outside, so please forgive any background traffic noise that might come by, but the weather's just gorgeous, and I wanted to take advantage of being able to be out here in a little bit of coolness. It's like 66 degrees right now, and I'm loving it. You know that I was waiting on a safety nose to finish my cat, so that finally came, and I finally got to finish my cat. So I'm going to show you my cat first. And of course I had to get more yarn because I ran out with 6 little rounds left on his head. So here is my cat. Unlike my real cat, this one behaves. And it called for using a line to make the whiskers. Now someone told me that they just stitch theirs on, like with embroidery, just using the yarn and stitch it on. But I kind of liked the idea of having the line for the whiskers. So I asked John, do you have any unused line? I don't want any that's been cast into water or come into contact with any fish guts or anything like that. So he had some, and it was like way too thin, like just way too thin. So I had to make a Walmart run because I needed a couple of things. I needed the line, so I got a 20-pound test fish line, and it's still, you know, nice and thin, but it has some substance to it. And I was going to do Southern Gal Crochet's little mini Christmas tree ornaments, and so I needed some beads and I needed some string, and she decorates hers with buttons, but I didn't do that. So I go into Walmart and I'm on the hunt for the beads or the string. And for beads, I couldn't find anything. I was in the craft section. It's very minimal. I guess people in this part of Florida aren't crafters. I checked in the Christmas section. They didn't have anything that was usable. I went over to the jewelry section and they didn't have anything. You know, like I could pull a beaded necklace apart and use the beads, but people don't wear beads anymore. At least not in this area, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I just happened to cut through the Halloween section and they had these wooden beads. So I'll show you the trees next. So they had these wooden beads and they were a natural wood, and I'm like, I can just paint the beads. These will work. So I picked up the beads, and then I'm looking for the string, and I wanted the pretty gold string that you would see, like say on the gift tags, or you know what I'm talking about, the shiny gold. It's real thin, a little thicker than thread, you know, maybe about the size of that 20-pound test. Couldn't find it. So I ended up buying this other craft string. It was like a hemp, and I made one and I wasn't happy with it. So Jenna was going out shopping yesterday and I asked her, can you pick me up some ribbon? If you can't find string, the ribbon works really nice. So instead of using buttons, I used these little sparkly pom-poms. You see how it's got a little like sparkle in it? But these are the wooden beads. the wooden beads, and I painted it with gold paint, and she picked me up some gold ribbon. So I was able to do the Christmas trees. I made, traffic is so rude. I made 4 of them, and I can see I have some hot glue strings I need to pick off of here. That's 3 and 4. Now the hot glue is faster, but it's messy. So I think my next project that requires glue, I'm going to stick to my fabric glue because I can control it just a little better than I can the hot glue. So I have 4 of the Christmas trees. They're pretty easy to work up. Definitely easy to decorate with the little pom-poms, or you can use buttons like she said. I just thought the little pom-poms looked more like Christmas ornaments. So I have those 4. And then the other day, and it's funny because Wonder Crochet just did a video this morning, actually released it, with like 25 different Christmas patterns, and the very first one she started with was her Grinch. And I wanted to do a Grinch, and that's how I had found that other snowman that I showed you last week. I wanted to do a Grinch, but I wasn't finding a pattern that I liked. And then Crafty Sue says, oh, I'm just going to do Wonder Crochet's Grinch. So I went over to check it out, and I'm like, he's cute. So I tried to do her Grinch, and here we go, running into the supply issue problem again. I needed felt. Now the felt that I can get here locally is that really cheap, like you barely pull on it and it falls apart. So my Grinch has gone unfinished. He still has some red hanging out of his butt there. Because I need felt to do his face, which I'm not super thrilled about using anyways. But first, so with her pattern, it's easy to follow, really easy, and it does end up cute, which you can't really tell because, you know, his face isn't done. You know, I did a couple of things different. Before I switched to the white around the neck, I crocheted in his little arms so that I wouldn't have to sew those back on. And I think that's the only thing that I did different as far as that went. So what I did this morning, because it bothered me that I can't finish, I crocheted another head, and I found this picture. I found this picture of a Grinch face that I really, really liked. Now I haven't tied anything off. I haven't used any glue or anything. There's still a lot of strings hanging because I need your opinion first. I'm not the best at embroidering. So I really struggle with some of the times with the embroidery, but I think this turned out pretty cool. Jenna thinks it turned out pretty cool. So, like I said, before I add any, Toby! So like I said, before I add any glue or anything like that to any of this, I wanted some opinions. So this is the Grinch face I made on Wonder Crochet's head. So I didn't do his body yet, but these are things that I already have. I don't have to buy anything else to do that. But it does look bigger than this head, but I think that's just because it's not sewn on yet. I mean, I used the same hook, the same yarn. The only thing that could be different is the tension. But And usually with the first time you do a pattern, it's a little smaller than the next time because you're like super concentrating, if that makes any sense. But that would be the Grinch face. He needs his little Santa hat and of course his body. So what do you think? Will that pass for a Grinch face before I finish up? I mean, he's got little eyebrows. He's got the yellow around his eyes. I would say this face is the Grinch after his heart grew back to normal size. So let me know what you think. How did I do on that face? Toby, don't you think about it. Then the other thing I got to do, Toby, he has always got to get up in the middle of everything. He is over here rocking the table, messing with my stuff. So the other thing that I got to do was my deer. I had ordered those eyes, the trapezoid eyes, and I had the eyelashes. I glued them on. I crocheted the face, and then I tried to attach the eyes, and with all my might, I could not snap the backs on the eyes. The back on the eyes. Couldn't do it. Couldn't get it to budge. I struggled like there's no tomorrow. And I had been waiting already a couple of weeks to be able to do this pattern, and I didn't want to wait anymore. So I broke out the regular eyes and I did my best at trying to glue the eyelashes to them. Would you get out of my stuff? Come on. So I just tried moving the cat and he bit me and sliced open the back of my hand, so I had to run and get a Band-Aid. Obviously, he wanted to just sit there and be in the middle of all my stuff and didn't like the fact that I was trying to move him. So where was I? Oh yes, I was talking about the deer. There's that bad kitty. He's being naughty today. So we were talking about the deer. And so I think I was at the eyelashes. So I ended up using the regular safety eyes and gluing the eyelashes to those. So the deer was a challenge. I did not 100% follow the pattern. She did it different than a lot of her other patterns, and so the changes that I made, I did less rows in the body, and I did it to where I can crochet the arms in to the body instead of having to go back and sew them on. And I also made the legs a couple of rounds longer because they were really short and stubby. Other than that, I pretty much followed the pattern. So made the legs longer, shortened the body a little. So this is my deer. I tried to make it look like it was wearing, the Christmas sweater. And when it's sitting, it would look like this. I gave her a little bow. I mean, I hope this lighting's coming up better than it's showing in my screen here. So I gave her a little hair bow, or antler bow. The thing that actually took me the longest to do was the antlers, because I had to use a 2.5 millimeter hook and some cotton, using what I have, because all these designers, it's a conspiracy, they all use different things. So the antlers took what felt like forever. I'm not sure if I like the eyelashes, but on this one we're going with it this time. So I just made those few changes, and got this little tail back here. I also did that, sewed it in the process of crocheting versus waiting until it's finished and having to sew it on. Oh, I need to get a lint roller. But that's the deer. So from a distance, she looks really cool. Up close, I'm not sure I like those eyelashes. They're kind of long, and I was gonna take the scissors to them, but then I was like, if I do that and don't like it, it's too late. So it is what it is. So we have the deer, the cat, the Grinch. Oh, Toby knocked these down. And of course they're made out of white. So sticking with the Christmas patterns, I wanted to find another snowman that wasn't so big and didn't take so long to make, you know, some little small ones. So I Googled, and one of the first ones that came up was all from Jade's No Sew, and we all love No Sew, her No Sew snowman. So I did that, and I'm like, it's okay. It's kind of plain. It was easy to do, but it is very small. And this was using the Loops and Threads Home Slim, the white, and then of course this is just acrylic yarn. The nose is acrylic, and a little very pale pink blush cheeks. So, I mean, yeah, it's okay. It was a little smaller than I wanted. So I said, what would happen, because you know me, if I used Bernat, would it come out any bigger? And then I also wanted to make it look like that it had a hat, but still try and keep it no-sew. And I like everything about this one except his face. I think it's the nose, so I'm gonna have to cut the nose off and do something different with the nose. And maybe take the eyebrows off. He looks weird. But my hat idea worked. I put a little pom-pom on top and did the scarf, but he turned out just a little bit bigger than the chenille Home Slim. So if I can't fix his face, he's a no-go. Then I said, let's try to make it bigger. Let's see if we can adjust this pattern to make it just a little bit bigger. It really didn't work out too good. I mean, it looks okay. And this is the Bernat Baby. Actually, I think this one's the Walmart white. And this is the Bernat Baby. It's not as bright of a white as those others. I might have picked up vanilla. I don't know. But I tried the hat again because I really liked the hat idea, and I did not attach the pom-pom because, again, something's just not right about it. The face just, I'm not in love with the face. Just don't like it. So, and this is what I played with yesterday with Snowmen. So I searched again to come up with another snowman pattern. And of course, no sew is best. But at the same time, you gotta have a little bit of detail in it, I think. So I found this other pattern, and I can't remember who the designer is, but it was like one of the Amigurumi websites. But this one's cute, and with the exception of sewing on the nose, it is all no sew. So this one is the first one, and that doesn't make sense. I like how the nose is done much better. Also, the face, you give it a little bit of cheekiness. The hat is made separate, but it's a perfect fit. I mean, it's nice and it's not going anywhere. And I glued the pom-pom to the top. They did their buttons a little different. I tried doing it their way and it just didn't look good to me. So I made little X's for the button, and the scarf is just full of fluff. The scarf is just a single crochet, and then you tie it around its neck. So I liked this one. So I made another one. And this one is, both of these are out of the Chenille Home Slim. And okay, so this one is the agave green and this one is the mustard. Now the only thing that's different is like the little mouths are a little different. And the pom-poms are two different colors. This one, it had to have gold because of the mustard color. And this one, it has the little silver, like, tinsel sticking out of it. But I like this much better. And I think, other than being able to shape the face and the way the nose is, the size of the eyes that it says to use makes a difference. Like these are 10 millimeter eyes and these are 12 millimeter eyes, and I just think the eyes are making a world of difference. And not to mention with this one, because it has the hat and it's crocheted separate, it's kind of like what I wanted to do with being able to make the little amigurumi thing and then dress it. So if I wanted to, I could make this guy, you know, all kinds of different little hats and scarves. You know, I'd have to stick with the button theme because I use the same color as that. Now I could have done black, but I didn't want it to stand out that much. So yeah, that is what I have been spending my few days doing. I am the one Grinch I will finish with felt. I do have some ordered where it's the stiff felt, where there'll be a little more substance to it and not just like fall apart in your hands or your fingers when you're trying to attach it. So I'll finish that one. And the one with the face, if you guys all give me the go ahead, I'll go ahead and make the body for that and the little Santa hat and put that together. And so that's going to give me not a lot, but a few Christmas items for my market. I'll have the really cool big snowman that you guys saw last week. I'll have the deer. I'll have some of these smaller snowmen. I'll have a couple of Grinches, and I'll have the Christmas tree ornaments. So I don't want to overdo it because if they don't sell, then what am I going to do with them? So yeah, I don't want to overdo it with Christmas items. It is before Christmas, and I would think that people would be in the Christmas mindset for shopping, but everything doesn't need to be Christmas because that's just too much. I think the only other thing I might consider adding to the Christmas theme plushies is maybe an elf. If I could find a cute little elf to do that, it could be low-sew. Doesn't have to be no-sew. It could be low-sew because you just, I don't know, they look nicer. You know, certain aspects about it make it look nicer. Anyhow, Toby's getting ready to attack my feet now, and I'm not about that. I don't like anybody messing with my feet. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and if you want to hang out with me some more, you can click on this video right over here, and I'll see you over there.